Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, mahaba, moni muli wanji, namaste, jumbo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We're coming to you from the beautiful city of Orlando, in the great state of Florida. We are so happy and so honored that you're joining us in our mission to help families grow closer through reading. Please be sure to tell all of your family and friends about the show, and please be sure to subscribe to the show on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Stitcher Radio. I can't remember all the places we are. Basically, wherever you find your podcast, you can find the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest today is Amanda Seibert. She's here to celebrate her debut picture book. It's called Mama, Sing My Song. Before we invite our guests into the studio, we want to invite you to connect with us on social media. So many ways to connect. Facebook.com/readingwithyourkids, at Reading With Your Kids on Instagram, at Reading With Your Kids on TikTok. We have a great Pinterest page. Also, check out our YouTube channel, at Reading With Your Kids. And if you're on Twitter, it's at Jedley Magic. And of course, we would love for you to visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. You can sign up for our free newsletter, which is growing into an online magazine. We're so excited about that. You can also use the contact button at the top of the page to let us know what we're doing wrong, let us know what we could be doing better, and let us know who you would like to hear on a future episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Join us right now from Indianapolis in the great state of Indiana. Our guest is here today to celebrate her debut picture book. It's called Mama, Sing My Song, a sweet melody of God's love for me. Please welcome to the show, Amanda Seibert. Hey, Amanda. How are you?
Hi. Hey, Jedley. Thanks so much for having me.
You know, I almost sang your introduction, but then I thought, no, everybody would be turning off the podcast at that point. So I
that would have been fantastic. I'd love to hear that version.
So tell us all about Mama, Sing My Song.
Yeah, so the book that I just wrote is really an extension of the work that I've been doing the past 4 years or so with our company under the same name, Mama, Sing My Song. We write custom songs and lullabies for kids, and so parents can kind of tell us their special features about their children, and then we turn all those things into a song that they can treasure forever. They can sing that song over their children, just reminding them how loved and wonderful they are. And so this book, Mama, Sing My Song, is kind of the same idea, except rather than written from one parent to a specific child, it's a song written for all children, for parents to sing to them and just remind them how loved and special they are.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. I wrote a song for both of my kids when they were young. Maybe I'll share.
That's great.
Maybe I'll share one of them later on. But where did the inspiration for the company kind of come from?
Yeah, honestly, I was a desperate mom. I had a crying baby in the backseat of my car. I was a new mom trying to drive along the road and calm her down, and she was just screaming in the backseat. And so I made up a little song that had her name in it, and I sang that song, and she stopped crying. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is magic. I'm going to keep singing this song. And so I did over and over until as she grew up, she would say, Mama, sing my song. Mama, sing my song. It just became her song. And it was a special connection for us to sing together, that I would just sing it maybe as I was tucking her into bed or rocking with her, or also it sort of was my go-to tool as a parent. Whenever I didn't know what to do, I would just sing her song, and it seemed to work. So then later I started creating songs for other children and friends, and one thing led to another, that here we are 4 years later and have written thousands of songs for kids all over the world as a tool for parents to remind their children just how loved and special they are.
There is something magical about music that hits everybody, but it's especially impactful for little kids and elderly people, I think. You know, it's just, I don't know what it is, but I know, the reason I ended up writing a song for my son was because when when he was younger and we were trying to get him to sleep, there was one particular popular song that I would play and kind of sing to him as I was trying to put him to sleep, and he would love it. And there's just, these certain songs that he would hear it and it's like,
Yes.
And just relax. And
that's his cue. Yes.
Yeah. So it's music is so powerful.
Absolutely. I think we are discovering that over the last 4 years as we've written songs for so many different families, just realizing music has a way of touching a part of our souls, a part of our being that isn't always tapped into in other ways. There's something about music when you hear a song, it brings up emotion and it can create association, sort of like what you were saying with your son. He would hear the song and realize, oh, I'm safe, I'm comfortable, it's time for me to go to sleep now, I think music is so powerful and it can connect us with one another. It can speak to our hearts in a deep way. I so agree with what you're saying.
So where did you're telling us how successful the songwriting business is. Where did the inspiration to turn that into a book come from?
Yeah, honestly, it's a dream come true for me. The publisher heard about what we were doing and asked if we would be interested in creating a song, if I would be interested in creating a lullaby song that we could turn into a book for all children to read. And this is something, writing a book has been a dream of mine since I was maybe 7 years old. I always wanted to grow up and be an author. I would go to little author conferences and I had these little blank books that I would write in. And so writing a book has been something I've dreamed about, but never really thought could be a reality in my life. And so when I was approached in this way, it was one of the most amazing surprises or experiences. And so it's been an incredible journey to write this book that I hope will be a special way for parents to connect with their children.
It's really interesting because I've also spoken to authors who say, oh, I love writing kids' books and rhyming kids' books, but I could never write a song. And it's like,
oh, yeah.
We're talking about, different flavors of the same thing here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think writing the lyrics of a song can often be, you can either read it lyrically or you can sing it as a song. Actually, in fact, this book is written as the lyrics are written in a way that you can just read it to your child, but also the book has been recorded as a song. So there's a QR code in the front of the book and parents can scan that and then you can sing along with your child. You can play the song while you're driving in the car, or you can just read the book like a book. I don't know. I have some books like that with my kids that we sing along the words, or you can just read it.
Yeah. That's really neat. And, this just conjured up a terrible, horrifying memory.
Oh no.
Yeah. Talking about music and my son and shortly after he was born, my wife was on maternity leave. Maybe he was 10 months, 11 months old. But I do educational magic shows around the country. And my wife said, well, let's go out on tour together. And we'll just all go out and be with you as you're traveling and doing these shows in Western Pennsylvania and Ohio. And I said, great. And it was really a wonderful time because there wasn't a whole lot to do in those towns except be with my beautiful wife and our baby. But the whole time we were driving, we had to listen to a Barney tape.
Oh no!
If we had anything else on but the Barney tape,
no.
There's nothing wrong with "I love you, you love me," but
yes,
a bazillion times.
Let me tell you, there are a lot of really annoying kid songs out there. There really, really are. And for some reason, those are the songs that our kids are so drawn to.
They are, yeah, and it's great. But none of the songs that you create are annoying.
No, our hope is to change that, to create songs that your kids want to listen to and that the parents also enjoy listening to.
Now, when you're creating a new original song for a family, I've seen some companies, they do this, and they have one song, and they've recorded it once, but then there's a hole. And so they'll be singing a song, and it's a happy day for Alejandro. And, and
Right.
everything's the same thing. And they just plug that in. And lots of times the name doesn't really fit in the space.
Sure.
We're not talking about that, right?
No, not at all. I have heard of those songs as well. You're right. No, our songs are completely custom written. The parents submit a questionnaire all about their child's favorite things, their favorite foods, places they like to go, just some of the unique characteristics about their child, and then also the parents' hopes and dreams for that child. And we take all of that information. We start from scratch, writing brand new lyrics for each child. We do have different melodies that we use again, but our lyrics are always completely unique for each child.
I got to ask, what is the most, I'll say, unique thing that a parent has asked you to write about?
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. I personally have written about 1,000 songs, and let's see, you're catching me on the spot here. There have been some, oh goodness, some that are embarrassing that I wouldn't want to actually say out loud to embarrass the child. But yes, there are a lot of interesting things that we have to try to weave into the song somehow and try to take what the parent is intending to say. Let's see. I think there was one that the kid maybe dreamed of being a unicorn, and so I had to work that into the song of maybe you'll be a unicorn or maybe you'll do this, but you can follow your dreams or something like that. But yeah, there's lots of examples. I cannot think of one specific one on the spot, but it is definitely a trick sometimes to incorporate all the details.
I'm imagining, because different families have all sorts of hopes and dreams, and some might not.
Or silly things that the kids say. That's always really fun to incorporate. The parents might share like a unique phrase that the child says, or like the little toddler that says something in a silly way, and so that's always fun to incorporate in the song. Or sometimes their favorite foods like chicken wings or chicken pot pie or something, and then finding a way to, I love you even more than you love chicken wings or something. It's just fun to be able to use those details that will make the child smile when they hear it, because they think, yes, that's me. I do love chicken wings or whatever it might be.
It's funny. The song I wrote for my son had chicken pot pie in it.
Are you serious? Well, I bet it was a great song.
Yeah, he loved it up until he was 8, and I was singing it in my shows, talking to kids about how much I love my family. And
sure.
At 8, he said, yeah, can you kind of stop that? Now that he's 29, I sing it again.
I love that. I love it that the kids can even grow up, even when they're adults, to still hear their parents maybe even in a playful, cheesy way like that, to say, I love you, no matter how old you are.
Yeah. Well, you just brought up something, an image just flashed in my mind, and you kind of experience, this is how this brain works. It's just like from one shiny object to another. But I'm imagining what a wonderful thing for a family to have, where the parent is singing this song to their kids for years and years, and then maybe sings it to the grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And I'm imagining at the end of the parent's life, the child comes back and sings the song to the parent.
I've got goosebumps.
I just gave myself them too. But do you ever take time to think about that you're creating, all kids, authors are creating, you're creating moments. You're writing a book, but the book isn't something that a kid is going to read on the subway into work. It's a book that a family's going to read together, snuggled up on a couch together. These songs are going to be sung while a family is embraced. And those memories. Does that ever kind of go through your mind?
Absolutely. That is a thought that carries me through a lot of the times. I think even what I've experienced with my own kids. So I have 3 children, and I created little songs for them when they were all newborns, and I would sing those songs over them as I was rocking them, or each time I put them down for a nap, or when they were fussy. And I bet in my child's first year of life, I sang his song 1,000 times, you know? And as they grow still, now my oldest is 7.5, and we still, every single night, we sing her song together as I'm tucking her into bed. And our whole family will sing each other's songs together as we're tucking them all into bed. And I just think I can flash forward and think, wow, I know that when my kids are grown up and out of the house, these moments are ones that I am going to hold on to and treasure forever. And I hope also that we're laying a foundation in our kids' lives of security in who they are and how much they're loved, that as we sing these words of affirmation and this love over them every day, that is going to carry on with them too in a song that they'll never forget. You know, I think songs, another part of the power of songs and music is that it sticks with us. We remember lyrics in a way that we don't remember other things. Right. And so, yeah, just knowing that it can be a moment like you described for families to share together, a moment of connection that they can hold on to for years to come, and for the child to grow up with the song, even like you're saying for your son at 29 years old. Maybe he kind of rolled his eyes when he was 8 and you would sing the song at a show, but now when he's 29, I bet when he hears that song, he gets a big smile and just says, you know, my dad loves me. Yeah. And I just think that thought of creating moments and creating connection and love for family is something that is so important to me and definitely carries me through.
Yeah. So in Mama Sing My Song, the book, A Sweet Melody of
Yes.
God's Love for Me, what kind of things are you writing about that we'll be kind of speaking or singing to our kids as you're reading?
Yeah, it's full of affirming words of who our children are and who they're created to be, the wonderful qualities that we see in them. And then it's also the message of that as much as a parent loves our children, that God loves them even more than that. And our love for them is just a reflection of God's love for them. And so I hope that as children listen to this book, they'll be reminded of all the wonderful things that make them so special and unique, and that they'd also be reminded, wow, as much as my parent loves me, God loves me even more, no matter what, forever and ever. Yes.
You know, those are words that I remember saying to my kids. And, you know, like there, and the kids go, I love you too. But you know what?
Yes.
As much as I love you, it doesn't come close to how much God loves you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly what you said. There's a line in the book that says, the little child asks the mama, oh, mama, could it really be true? Does God really love me the way that you do? And the mom responds, as much as I love you, my child, it's a fact. God loves you 1,000,000 times more than that. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes, whatever you do and wherever you go, as high as the stars, as deep as the sea, or as deep as the sea, as high as the stars, forever and ever, just as you are.
That's cool.
That's from memory, so I might have gotten a few words wrong. But that idea that as much as I love you, God loves you 1,000,000 times more than that. And that's a message that I hope my kids know. I love that you were intentional to pass that on to your children as well.
Well, you know, it's just this, for me as a parent, it was comforting for me to be able to say that to my kids, because because I was older when I became a dad, I was very much aware that I was not perfect and that I was going to make mistakes. And and I admitted that to my kids, not that I needed to, because they could see me making mistakes. But I wanted them to know that, yeah, I love you, but boy, there is a being out there that loves you even more than I could ever even imagine loving you.
Yes. Someone who loves you perfectly and can make up for all the mistakes or the holes in our love for them.
Yeah. So I guess the question comes up, if there's a family out there that doesn't have a faith tradition or doesn't have a Christian faith tradition, is this book still something that they'll be able to enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say for anyone whether or not they'll enjoy the book or not. I did see someone who left a review, an early reader, and they said, I am not a religious person, but this book was still so sweet and special to me, and that it made them smile, and it was something that they enjoyed reading with their children. So I would say the general theme is, well, it's in the title, Mama Sing My Song, a sweet melody of God's love for me. So there's definitely a theme of as much as I love you, God loves you even more. So if that's something that a parent would want their child to know, then this book is definitely for them.
Awesome. Hey, now that you've written Mama Sing My Song, I know you're busy writing, personal songs for families all over the world. Have you caught the kids writing a kid's book writing bug yet? Are you going to be writing more books in the future?
I hope so. Like I said, it's always been a dream of mine, and there's 2 books I have in the back of my mind that I would love to write. There's one that I wrote about my grandfather, silly things that he used to always say to us, like he'd say, if you swallow a watermelon seed, a watermelon will grow in your stomach, and just, the funny things about a grandpa. And so I have a book that I actually wrote years ago, not published, but I would love to try to see if that could be published. And then a few other ideas rolling around in there, so we'll see.
I heard that it wasn't with watermelon seeds, it was orange seeds. And I think it horrified me, but then I also thought, that'd be kind of cool, and I swallowed a seed on purpose. I bet you that a book, even a song about your grandfather talking about the watermelon growing in your belly, that would be a fun song. Definitely be a fun book.
Yes, yeah. It is. What I have written is just a really fun, endearing story about a grandfather who says silly things. But you're right. It could be a fun song as well.
Yeah. You don't have to say the name, but have there been names that you've been writing for that it's taken you 50 or 60 takes to be able to get pronounce the name right?
Oh, we definitely do have a lot of names that are tricky to pronounce. Sometimes we'll go back and forth with the parents and say, can you actually send me a voice memo of you pronouncing the name? I did that just this morning with a song that I was working on. And then when we hear it, this one in particular was a Hawaiian name, Hawaiian pronunciation. So then they sent us, and then that makes it much smoother rather than going back and forth so many times trying to get it right. But yeah, we've actually written songs for children in all the 50 states of the United States, and I think 18 different countries around the world. Wow. So there have definitely been a variety of names that we've been able to learn and sing.
That's really cool. I'm wondering, what's the most the country that you were most surprised getting a request from?
Oh boy. Let's see. I have a world map. I'm trying to think. We do quite a few for like Australia, Canada, but there have been some in the Middle East. I wrote one for a child in India, Oman, several in different parts of Eastern Europe. I'm trying to think. But yeah, some of the ones in the Middle East might be ones that were more surprising. Oh, a few from Africa, South Africa, we've written several for. So
that's really neat. I'm always amazed when I look at my statistics and see where the podcast is downloaded to.
I bet.
I have somebody in the Amazon, and a city in the Amazon, Manaus, and it's in the middle of the Amazon, huge city. Right, you can't access it except by boat or by plane. And there's 1 or 2 people there who listen to every podcast. It's like,
isn't that the wonder of technology? That is amazing.
It is amazing. Well, speaking about technology, where can people go using their technology to find out more about Mama Sing My Song, a sweet melody of God's love for me?
Yes. So the book is available everywhere books are sold. You can order it on Amazon or anywhere books are sold. It's also available on our website, which is mamasingmysong.com. Mama is M-A-M-A, mamasingmysong.com. That's also where families can go if they want to start a personalized song for their own child. And we also have the book available too.
That's awesome. We've had a really great time speaking to the author of Mama Sing My Song, a sweet melody of God's love for me, Amanda Seibert. Hey, Amanda, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. This has been delightful.
Please be sure to join us for the next episode of the Reading With You Kids podcast. Our guest will be Michelle Lee. Michelle is a news anchor in St. Louis, Missouri, and she is also the author of a debut picture book. It's called A Very Asian Guide to Korean Food. That's the next episode of the podcast. Hey, please be sure to visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Parents, you can visit our Certified Great Read Wall of Fame. Find a book that you want to add to your family library. And authors, you want to click on the Authors Click Here button to find out how you can get your book added to our Certified Great Read Wall of Fame. Want to thank the folks who made today's show so wonderful. Chris, we'll start by thanking our guest, Amanda Seibert. Please be sure to check out Mama Sing My Song. Also want to thank my team, Fatima Khan, Rory Brady, Mirabella Q. I want to thank my amazing son, Christopher, and his beautiful wife, Aliza, for hosting me here and their Orlando Palace. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me. I want to thank Daisy the dog for keeping me safe here in Orlando. Most of all, we all want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and as always, thank you so very much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.